According to Meghan Markle's new team, there's one simple thing that's actually stopping her from becoming, well, the dream that she believes she should be. And that is, of course, as a billionaire, an entrepreneur. She's not an influencer, apparently. She said that. It's fascinating, isn't it, when you think, chums, because, of course, apparently female founders. What's Meghan actually founded? That's the problem. Already you have a problem in the title for her latest podcast. But you see, the bigger issue, as many people realise with Meghan, is the fact that she's unrelatable. And now, of course, the new team, there's always somebody new around them advising these people. And it's basically, if you only did this, things would change for the better. Everything would be resolved and there would be no problems. And this apparently is the issue that's now facing Markle. But would she do it, even for billions? As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. You all right? Thank you as ever for your time, and welcome one and all, as I often say, brand new subscribers. It's lovely to say that, and thank you for enjoying, as I often say also, so many of the videos. I'm glad you love the historical ones. Love the one about the theatre with the thing being hidden, didn't you? Fascinating to think. I think there's lots of stuff like that. I really do. There's going to be lots of stuff that people uncover in the years to come. And I remember, we were talking about the show a couple of days ago, Blue Peter, and they used to do a lot of that, didn't they? Burying things in the Blue Peter garden so that when people dug it up years later, it could be a newspaper and, some bit of info, a script from the show. I think that's a lovely way of finding out about truly what things went on, sadly, in the fullness of time. We won't say that word. We're always going to be here, aren't we? We're invincible. Absolutely. Someone who thinks they're invincible, of course, is none other than the former royal known as Meghan Markle. She apparently sees herself as an entrepreneur and, more importantly, becoming a billionaire. Apparently that's her goal. Now, I don't mind people having ambitions, of course. That's important. You've got to, work out what you think you can do and what can you sell. That's the bigger picture, isn't it? You see, the other side of the coin is what you do, and he's really going back to what you did, before you got married, trying to become an influencer. Trying to get people to buy things is a lot harder when you're incredibly rich yourself. That's the problem. Even Gwyneth Paltrow, who got off with a good start with Goop, well, people are realising, how much for a candle? Smelling of what? So it definitely puts people off very quickly. But of course, there's a bigger problem for Meghan in becoming a billionaire. And the bigger problem is the way that she's treated people along the way. We're not talking, of course, about those bullying claims, although some people might say this could be a form of that. But it was this pivotal moment, that's right, this infamous curtsy that appeared in her Netflix series. Now, as you know, basically, she says that this is what happened. We know that was a totally different story, and that truly did not happen. But of course, Harry sat there, saying nothing, letting his wife do it. I've told you many times the director Liz Garbus did give her the opportunity to remove anything she wanted from the show. But apparently Meghan thought this was a fun, showy way of letting people see she had a sense of humour. Even her new team now basically say that if Meghan was to take to Instagram to explain the background to this particular fun feature and exactly why she said it and what she meant by it, people would be, more relenting, perhaps more forgiving, and this would open the door, as ever allegedly, to people wanting to welcome in her brand, her product, things like jam, the clothes, everything that she's now pushing. They realise, reading the comments, that people are basically saying, we can't forgive you for this. And they've told her, as ever, allegedly, in no uncertain terms, that if you were to address this thorny topic in the room, then things might be a little bit easier. But as many people realise, people like Meghan Markle never actually say, anything, do they? It's not their fault, it was what they thought at the time. And more importantly, she feels that people will forget in the fullness of time exactly why they were angry. But we live in a digital world, Meghan dear, and people will always bring this up because it was so disrespectful to a woman after 70 years on the throne who'd also given you wonderful opportunities, kindness, welcome and warmth. And for once, I agree with her new team. But would that be enough to turn Meghan into a billionairess? What do you think? Neil Shawn, Lambeth Palace, London.